Okay, we go.
So yes.
Okay, I suggest to everyone to open this document. I will pin you all again. Okay, there is a document in the text channel weekly engineering call. If everyone can open it, this is our agenda.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, just one. Yeah, apparently it will be. Jay Phantom's gone through the trouble of setting up so he can record for us. Sound and text.
Okay, community members. The first point in agenda is community members. We put as first point because we need really more people involved in the project, and we need to show that what we say on the white paper, that we want really to make a community driven coin, a community coin. That's not mean that we only have a huge community that can vote for exchange application or spread the word of the Electra. No, this is not what we want. We want really make a project where people works together daily to fix not only other people's but also improve the quality of the product. Who can with the code development, who can with the marketing, who can with the management. So it's very important in this phase. Look only to the product that we are developing, and with the time, the people will we will surrender. The truth will surrender that we are really making a good project. So we will talk about this during the next point also. And first thing, community members. Why we removed the application for community members? Because after 2 minutes, people that join in our server maybe are double account. The majority of them are double account that try to infiltrate the community because they don't have nothing to do, or someone pay them, and we don't know. But we have a lot of fooders that are really are not people that have doubt about the project or give a critic point of view. No, we have people really with intention to break something, but it's normal for every currency. For this reason, we closed the membership application to everyone so easily. But everyone have right to become a community member. Everyone. It's open to everyone. Just stay with the people in the chat, collaborating, giving answer or giving suggestion. Just the simple rule. There is only a rule, no? Respectful and constructive. Respectful not means we don't want force the people to be a community of believers. We don't want only a community of believers, because we don't want people that believe only in this project without say a critic, without we don't want people only this. People are free to say something of critic always, but with the simple rule that for constructive must be constructive. If you want to give a critic, you are welcome always. But if this critic is not constructive, that means that you are working not for improve the project to to do something of better. You want to demolish only something, and this is not acceptable. We cannot accept, because we are really building something of true and solid, but we cannot accept who want only to destroy it. So to defend the community and the people that are spending time and efforts in the project, we close the application to the people that comes from in few time with few time in the server, just 10 hours in the server, want to become members, but maybe are double account. So just be patient a bit. Just tell, because now this call is closed for only is open only for members and above. Just tell people to be patient a little and see the people good, and we will take all the people good in the project. We have as Electrons also people that made several critiques to us. We didn't remove them from Electrons. And we have contributors also that make. I personally made a contributor that made a video against us, but he accepted to make a second video better than the first. I make him contributor because we are open, okay, but we don't want food. If someone starts the food, we will, because food is not motivated. Is so we will pay also attention to don't call everything food, but only the things that are really not constructive and destructive. Only not everything is food. Just we will pay attention to do not call everything food also, and give an answer to the people every time. Let me check what Asmot.
We had a little.
No, the agenda, Asmot. Where is Asmot? Asmot, the agenda.
I'm here.
Yes, the agenda. You can post this agenda, the other agenda. I think that we included all the point of that agenda in this. But if there is some point, we will include now. So be constructive, please, and put the agenda here, the link, because I haven't in this moment, because I'm on this channel. If you can link the agenda, the other agenda, we will talk of both agenda in this talk.
Sure. I didn't know why, because I didn't.
Yes, I give
one of them is view only.
Yes, I give the answer.
So it's not being edited wildly.
Can I give the answer to Asmot? Yes. Okay. This,
yes.
If I am the speaker, I must know what I'm talking about. If you give me agenda 5 minutes or 1 day before, or if someone else make agenda, I cannot speak anymore because I don't have the arguments and the contents to bring to the people. This not means that I will make the agenda for each talk. This means that I'm talking about this my agenda, but you can, when I finish, start the talk with the other agenda, and you will talk about that topics. And because here is free, the discussion. So this is the reason, because not the first time, it's the second time that I take that agenda that the people bring to me and I make my own agenda, because I'm not a speaker for someone else. I'm speaking about the things that I know for sure. And anyone going to update on here? Okay. I can drive a discussion about the things that I can handle and manage because I'm fully and properly sure that about these things, but I cannot bring a discussion about an agenda that someone else have made, and I have no
Just
idea.
on that point, dude.
Yes.
Usually there's someone in the chat. Like for example, I could have added something into there, or I don't know, maybe like for example, maybe Asmoth would have added something into there. So if you do see something familiar to you, feel free to just say this has been added to the agenda. Would anyone like to, you know, add something in? And if you don't get anything in, 5 or 10 seconds, feel free to move on to the next one.
No, but there is also that agenda that for me is I don't know, but if someone is able to post this here, or I will take this. Okay, where is? Okay,
You're talking the other one.
Yes, the other one. If we okay, this I think is this. Let me. Okay. There are nobody make a review of this. There are a lot of comments, and I have not editing power of this also.
No, but I can give anybody editing power, and it's in suggestion mode. But this has actually been out there for about 4 days, and I've shared it all over. So I guess my feeling was people had adequate time to look at it and to review and make changes.
Nobody have done this. I'm the only one that is driving this weekly every week, and I cannot manage an agenda that I cannot handle because I don't know which contents bring there.
That's all right, dude. It's not just a presentation. It's a discussion, so everyone gets a chance to say something. So if you've typed in something there, you've got an opportunity now to talk about it. Or if you'd like someone else to rep you, you can always just give them a heads up and say, we've got this point to talk about. That's actually what the conversation was about on the right-hand side that kind of just got removed. Can I just add very quickly before we move on to the next point, because we're kind of pushing it out now. We've been talking about the same thing for a while. I know we've got some insecurities about people entering our ranks and having all kinds of different personal agendas and kind of, I don't know, I think at the moment we're a little bit insecure about people ruining what we've created and changing our environment that we're building. Because unfortunately, the thing with an environment is it's very, very easy to destroy. Like many things, destruction is much easier than the creation or the development. Consider how long it takes to build a house and how long it takes to take one down. So very, very similarly, everything we're building here it has certain vulnerabilities. I think if we become insecure about the vulnerabilities and we start to do things like we're doing now, I think it takes us away from the core that we're trying to build. I know it's not easy. Like, I know it's much easier for me to say this now from where I'm sitting because I don't deal with like half of the, I guess, all the spam accounts that get created and such. But if it's possible to take these guys on like a case by case basis, just because there are certain situations, like there was a guy that joined us yesterday, Grendel, I think, and at first we were kind of like, just because we'd been through so much hassle with certain people, we just kind of expected him to be someone that just came in to troll. And because we came with that expectation, we started to kind of interpret all of his actions to be as if he was there to be destructive. And we were all like thankfully very pleasantly surprised. Like, it wasn't a bot account, even though like all the signs would say this guy was ticking the criteria of newly created FUD account or bot account as a second. It really wasn't the case. So I'm just saying, it's very, very difficult to judge things on very short. No, dude, don't feel like that. I just mean, I think we're all actually right now getting a bit paranoid and starting to be just a little bit too insecure. And we're not that vulnerable. We're allowed to make mistakes. If people want to point at us when we've fallen over, it's sweet for us to, as a community, just give each other a hand and get back up. So if people want to focus on the really, really negative stuff, we personally know that none of these obstacles are too big for us to jump. So, like, we've got no problem with our hurdles. We're all sweet with that. We don't need to worry about being taken away in seconds, you know. Can we take this to the next point? Maybe if we just bounce around between both agendas, we can get all the points. Could I very quickly talk about, or just very, very quickly, can we get a vote? Should we do 1 point, like point 1 on both agendas, then point 2 on both agendas, or should we go through one very quickly and go through the other?
Let's give a look to both agenda. For example, now the first point there is coin markets. Okay, coin markets. I have this point in the agenda, coin markets also. When we come to coin markets, we take this point from the other agenda that have more details about, for example.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I'll read it out very quickly. So we've got addressing all the FUD. Asmos made a CM fact page. We'll
yes,
check that
but
out.
is on. Yes.
Yep. Apparently, something about needing an official statement as the regular ongoing statements, asking if we've got a CM plan, if we've got any contact attempts. We'll go with some of these, and then that petition that they've started. Areas of specific focus for mods and electrons. It's where are contributions needed the most, and what are they? So we can talk about our project, social media, PR, and some other things that activities that people can get in on. Social media presence. We need more activity. This is something that's been going around for the last few days. We'll talk about committing to post every few days, establishing a team for social media, so more can contribute content. YouTube channel. We'll go over these, how we're organizing and logging ideas from community members, electrons, mods, etc. There's a few of these, so we'll go over that as well. And can we entertain the idea of having some sort of merchant shop? I know it's been brought up before, and then open the. On the other one, Renat, you've got community members, project investors, organized marketing, a decentralized marketing, so maybe like a guerrilla marketing campaign, the improvement of the structure. I believe he is talking about our comms structure for this. Then we're going to talk about the governance of the core team and governance of contributors and investors. And again, I think this is touching on that point of improvement of structure. Official statements. I'll have to ask more about that. Probably development updates. And we've also got an open paper that we've got, we're hoping to make a minor adjustment to that this month. So that's going to be brought up. The CM, like we mentioned, and our current level of transparency, and then back to open discussion. Do you want to take your next point? Renat, do you want to tell us what you mean by project investors?
Yeah, no, I want just to say about this agenda. If you can drive the discussion about this agenda, not to give details and everything, you or someone else, it's okay for me. Please, let's talk about both topics. Is the best. Anyway, I have a second point. Project in. I was talking about community members, also project investors. The other idea is to involve the investors in the project, and I mean as investors, the big investors of Electra. We have around 100 people in the rich list that are own a very huge amount of Electra, but we don't know who they are. And I think a good idea can be in the next future to involve them in the project, to give a place for them, not only as a contributor, but why not in the core team. Give possibility to them to be involved in the decisional process, and feel that the investment that they have made in Electra, they will have updated news, because they will stay inside in the core team also. The more positive and the more able of them, we can accept them in the core team. This is also an idea to move in this direction, to involve our community, and our community is made also from big investors, not only small investors. And I will talk about this point of the governance ladder, because if you scroll down, we have governance.
Lazy. I get up and go downstairs.
You finished all my prayers last night? Did you get permission from me?
For? Okay. We have we will structure the team in core team, contributors and investors, and community members. So will be a distributed governance. Will be a distributed governance. Not only core team will take decision, but also will take decision members that are respectful, not of course trollers that bring nothing to the project, and the big investors of the project also. So this kind of governance will ensure that everyone is involved. This is, I think, important also. About the agenda, we need an organized market. We need a better marketing. Okay, it's clear. Now we are focusing on the code development, and on 28th of February we will release news about the code, which improvement and which new features we have included in the code, and we will include in on the next month. But we need also a better marketing. For this, we can structure the marketing as centralized marketing, organized, and a decentralized marketing. Centralized marketing is made from core team with official marketing channels and well structured. In the meantime, every contributor and every community member can drive his own unofficial marketing channel. For example, every community member can open a Twitter page or a Facebook page to push Electra in his own vision, with his own vision, but as unofficial. Just we ask this to the people to make it clear that is not an official channel, but is an unofficial Electra channel. But this kind of marketing can be very much powerful, because if 200 community members, as we are, started 200 pages on Facebook and 200 Twitter channels, everyone can lead his own decentralized squad of Electra, okay? But this is also more powerful if we start as core team to make a very good marketing about marketing and about statements. Let's take agenda again. Okay. So organized marketing and official statements. Is not about marketing, but is the same things, because regular and official statements will help much more the community. So this is from the other agenda. I bring it here, and the content is create an very solid structure where we can release every week an official statement about Electra. The core team will take the responsibility to give every week a statement about the situation, about coin markets or about the news of that week. Every week will be, the idea is to make an official statement for Electra. I'm jumping a little bit between the points of the agenda, but I think it's better like this because are linked as arguments. Okay, improvement of the structure. Okay, this is the point. Improvement of the structure means that we need to be like a company efficient like a company, but in the meantime we need to be democratic as a community. This is the vision that we are trying to bring. So no one can say that we are not organized, because we have a core team, and we will also talk about it in the next point about how our core team works. In the meantime, we need to be democratic because we are a community, but we need to be efficient like a company. And it means that we need to be able to take rapid and quick decision, and also powerful marketing and everything that a good company usually does. But in the meantime, we will ensure the community that and this decision will be taken from with the consensus of the community. So we need to unify these two kinds of structure, the community structure and the company structure, in one in Electra. This is what we are approaching to do. In about this core team this is my personal. Okay, I'm speaker in this moment, but this is only my personal opinion. Okay, but I think you will agree on this. Is very important. Is very important that the people involved in the core team, that are part of the core team, work full time for Electra, because we have told before that we have in the decisional process will be able to take decision not only core team but also the contributors and the investors and also the members. But who are the people that are in core team needs to be responsive, and in the meantime they have responsibility. So this means that the people that are in core team and on web page must be, for my personal opinion, and this will be soon clarified, needs to be with a name and a surname, and in the meantime needs to be full-time involved in the project, because the core team has a responsibility. Who don't want to work full-time in this project is able to be a contributor and take decision together with the core team. But
if you don't mind me interrupting, bro, I see where you're going with this. If you don't mind, can we do this as like an open discussion? Because it's not only very subjective what you're saying, but it's also kind of I don't know. Personally, I've got so many things I could say to this. Personally, I'd suggest maybe like a shift in expectation, and also I don't know if we could maybe hit the other points and then go back to this open discussion, because I could imagine this particular
Okay,
point
the next
blowing
point,
out.
the next point is okay. This is the improvement of the structure. So we must be efficient, very much more efficient, and to reach this, we need people in core team really involved and with responsibility. Official statements, development. Okay, open paper update, open development and open paper update. So the next news about the code development and the new features that we will include in Electra will be released on 28th of February with the open paper update. This will be full of news about the Electra development. So we cannot anticipate it now, but we ask to you all to be patient until the day 28 to see the news and the new features of the Electra blockchain that will be implemented in on March during the month of March. Maximum the first days of April, because depends also from exchange to accept our development and to collaborate for the transition, because we will also release the new desktop wallet, and all of this development need to be downloaded from the people, and there is a time to do that. So the news will come on 28th of February, and the development in the month of March, and maximum in the first days of April. But we have also to release in the new desktop wallet in March. So this will come for sure in March, as we have promised in the roadmap. We have also here, okay, this is the other agenda. Okay, when I finish to talk about the first agenda, you can speak about the other one. And so coin market issue we will bring to the other agenda that is more full of information about it. And we have also here Electra transparency. Okay, this is and the governance about yes, mod and admins, but this is also on the other agenda. So we can talk about transparency, that I think is the most important thing in this moment for Electra, because our battle is really open the door and let the people check what we are doing, which are our problems, but we will stop completely the food if we open the door and we let the people understand from themselves what is really Electra, and who is working on what, and who are the people of the core team, and what is the project, everything. This is, I think, crucial, because if we do that in very short time, we will confirm the trust and the belief of all the people, because really we have nothing to hide, or we can show everything, because really we have only good things to share with the community. And I think we will talk only also about the problems that we have, and be transparent. I think will be the key for Electra to go out from the actual situation is the best, because really if as we have good intention and we are really working hard, if we don't open the door to the people to see this from themselves, this is only based on the trust, but someone can also do not trust or completely do not agree on that, because the doubt is legit for everyone. So we need to open the door to let the people see how we are working really, and this will help very much with our problems. About coin, and this is linked, so I can talk about this about coin markets. Then the others that have made the second agenda is only one agenda, but there are different speakers, and the other agenda is someone else will talk about that, because I'm not aware of the contents. About coin markets, someone says that we are linked to coin markets. This is absurd, really. And how to stop this accusation accused against us? The only possibility that we have is to show everything about us to them. They will understand clearly that we have no a single connection with them. We don't know what they are, and when they brought us an email, we don't know really which wrote this email, who they are, and anything about. With another information very important is that we never listed Electra on coin markets. They listed us from themselves. I never sent an application for no, I don't have reviewed the coin market, but no problem. If you want to send, please send here, no problem. And we never have listed Electra on coin markets. This is a very important information for you, because someone think that we have listed Electra, so we know someone of them, but we was on Nova Exchange, and a day we realized that they have listed Electra. I don't remember if a member of CoinMarket, we are talking about August, joined on Telegram or not to spread this information. Was maybe Mercato X, was another exchange, but someone gave it to us the information that we was on Electra, on CoinMarkets as Electra, and in that moment we was on CoinMarkets, but still the people use Nova Exchange. But when Nova Exchange closed, and I hope that no one will think that we are the owner behind Nova Exchange also, or something like this, because everyone knows the history about Nova Exchange. That was a good exchange until they had problems and they decided to change the owners. In that moment, all the people have not another exchange, and we have only coin markets. That's the reason, because everyone go buy on coin markets in that moment. And honestly, we was happy that we at last Electra of that time was a very big, a very small, not big like now, but a very small community, and very little coin really. And we was happy in that moment. We are talking about August, that we at last have an exchange. We have no other information about this, but a statement is very about also transparency and coin markets. My personal opinion, and also I see that all the team agrees on this, but we still have to make an official statement, is that we have to take distance from coin markets more clearly, giving, if the people want to make legal action against coin markets, all of our team agrees about they are free to do that. We don't stop the people that want to make action against coin markets. This is a mistake that someone thinks. We never have stopped people to make action against coin markets, and we will give the place on our server on Discord to talk, and if people respectful and not people that fooders, but people that want just to have the coins back and the truth about this coin market exchange, we will support every kind of thing that they will do. We will support with giving the possibility on stay on, but we cannot make direct action against coin market because we are not we have not a juridic position. This is only what we need to tell. Also, we are not a juridic. We are not a foundation. We are not a company, so we cannot take the action as Electra. We can take action as users. As users, we can take action against these coin markets, and as Electra, we will release a statement very soon about our position in this, because we give it time to them very much to show their honesty and what the problem that they are having, but the time is almost over, and we will give an official statement about this. Also, we cannot accept that someone accuse us to be collusive with these coin markets, and to make it clear, we will release an official statement very soon.
Can I actually add to that? We're actually starting a campaign. We're not a company, no. We're just a collective effort of people just like you. We're just random people on the internet that are coming together to build something. So we're just a group of makers, really. What we've done at the moment is it's a very modest endeavor at the moment. We're reaching out to other coins that were affected and trying to get focused effort on sourcing and funding a legal campaign against coins markets. I just wanted to be known that I actually personally do prefer to wait. As hopeful as it seems at the moment, and as optimistic and naive as I sometimes believe myself to be, I'm still more on the side of patiently waiting than going after legal action. But since so many people are really badly hurt by it and getting rather emotional and sometimes irrational at the moment, there's actually an active campaign. I'm not sure who it's being run by, because I constantly go there to make a response, and honestly, it takes me a couple tries before I can write something, because the whole time I'm there, I'm kind of I don't know. They're very provocative people that are really ill-informed and very quick to accuse. So if you can imagine what it feels like to try and deal with that all day. But anyway, what we're doing is reaching out to the other coins that also have a bunch of resources, because one thing is I don't get paid to be here. No one gets paid to be here. We have, yes, an economic incentive because we go to the exchange and buy Electra and then work hard to make it more valuable than it is. Otherwise, some of us don't even own Electra. We're here because we believe in the idea and we like to make cool stuff. And this is an opportunity to not only make cool stuff and work with an enthusiastic team that are passionate about what they're building, but also an opportunity to learn. So it's an interesting position that we find ourselves in, though we're the ones heading up the effort to source and organize a effort against coins markets. It's just a slow effort at the moment. What we're doing is I'm not collecting any funds. There's no address to contribute to. At the moment, it's just kind of like a pledge. I was trying to get in touch with Electra on this. And just to say, like, I'm not the only one who's in touch with Electra. I joined this project late December. So I don't know what that's worth to people, but anyone that thinks that I was kind of here putting down the first pillars, it's not true. I joined here coming from Verge, which I actually thought I was really clear on that. Apparently I wasn't. Yeah, there is a lot of absurd things going around for coins markets. I don't know what the hell's going on with some of the logic that's being used with that debate, but I'd make an effort at the moment to go to Bitcoin Talk, though what we've done is also invited people back here. So we might get a few people that are actually from Bitcoin Talk, and most of them are just normal people that are there trying to get information. Though some of them I feel like have an agenda, so it's something to watch out for. Though we do have an active campaign at the moment, so if you hear someone talking about a campaign or wanting to contribute, if anyone has legal experience, hopefully, like more ideally, experience with IT, legals, and some ambiguity in location, because we're not even sure where these guys are from, right? So with considering it's probably Europe, but anyway, not to sit on this point too much. Simply put, we've got a effort at the moment to try and chase up coins markets with legal action. It's going to take some time, and it's being organized by just normal people. So we're not actually an entity that can take, ownership of this case. It's more something where once we've found the appropriate legal party, we could, get them to commit to it, and likely we'll all chip in together. I know there's obviously an added responsibility with, being a core team member. Also, for me, I'm kind of right in the center because I don't know why, but apparently I'm the founder of Electra and CM to some people. So I kind of wish this was the case. I'd have a lot more money, but since it's not, and I actually don't have that much money, so I don't know how much I can fund this, but to a certain point, to a point where I can personally afford, you have my pledge that I'll do like probably like an ECA to ECA matching, because I don't know, in many other ways, I'm actually very fiat poor. So yeah, that's something to consider. But I am kind of leading the effort. Anyway, to the next point then. It kind of went unnoticed a little bit, but Asmoth shared what they were working on for the last week, I believe. They basically took all of the answers that they've given, 100 times, for example, and they put it into a FAQ. So obviously it's not perfect. If you'd like to, I'll do all the tips you're giving me now. I actually pledged to that rain. So yeah, thank you, QuickDraw, for adding into the rain. But anyway, the CM FAQ should cover all the points. It's not perfect. Nothing is. If you have any suggestions or feedback, just let us know and we'll make those changes. Best to ping Asmoth on that one. And yeah, sorry to hijack. I can go on to the next point, or do you want to interrupt again, Renat? Do you want to take it into a different direction?
No, it's okay. And about the agenda, no, I think we have touched almost all the things. Let me give a look again to agenda.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, but chill. We're spamming the main chat. I really appreciate that, but thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's make a summary. Okay, community members involve more community members. try to be respectful and in the meantime constructive when we express critique, and always accepted and welcome the critique also.
Could I add to that, Rene? I know there's a lot of us here, and there's a lot of us actually committing quite a bit of effort. Most of us, the expectancy is actually not so high. Like Quick Draw, I think many of us thought he was making a joke before when he said, I'm here for 16 hours a day. That I actually think he is here for 16 hours a day. Because like when I leave at night, he's still here. And when I wake up in the morning, he's already here. So I don't know. I sleep for just over 8 hours. I think he really is here for that long. And he's not the only one. There are many, many like Quick Draw that are here for, 10, 12, 16 hours a day. So this means a couple things. Like one, we're very, very passionate, and it's not uncommon for people in a position with so much passion to be a little bit biased. And also, we can definitely get tired after 12, 14 hours, especially when you're talking for 12, 14 hours. Like sometimes I go, like, for example, like I went yesterday evening to Bitcoin Talk, and I was just like, okay, I can't deal with this right now. And similar to Coins Markets Talk, like we've got a dedicated channel here, but sometimes you get there and it's just a burden, and you just think like, do I really have the energy to deal with this right now? And some days you might have the energy, but then you've got something to do in a couple of hours, and you know that if you do focus now here, then in a couple of hours you're going to be a little bit depleted. But anyway, for all of these reasons, we can tend to kind of lose direction sometimes. And we're not really sure what the tone is most of the time. We're generally assuming where the tone is coming from when we're reading on the internet. And at the same time, it's easy to get defensive. So if we consider the situation where we're a little bit tired, very passionate, sometimes building a bias, sometimes getting a little bit defensive, feeling a little bit insecure, it's easy for us to make an incorrect judgment. So I'm just saying, if you're feeling a little bit tired, just leave it for someone else. If you see someone getting a little bit upset, let's not be provocative. Let's like try to ease the situation. Like a smile or a silly joke usually tends to soften a situation quite well. It's very hard to maintain an environment because we have to maintain the emotional levels, and emotions are things that fluctuate. So I think if we're all mindful that this is like a 24-hour thing, and we've got a lot of kind of like emotional roller coasters, everyone's going through their own set of fluctuations. If we try to maintain that, it's a happy environment where we can feel like we're not being judged, that we can actually be secure enough, comfortable enough to say silly things. And when we're able to talk aloud and say silly things and not feel judged for it, we can actually be creative to our maximum potential. So we've got actually a lot of potential, and a lot of people are focusing their energy here. So we're actually got quite a bit of energy in one spot, and it's very important that we maintain the right direction. So if everyone could kind of take charge, because we are the community, we are the shaping hand, very much so when it comes to the environment that we create, because it's a collective effort, the environment that we create. So whenever there's something positive that comes up, we can all take ownership. And again, if there's something negative, we need to all take ownership and responsibility and not all jump at the thing. But, remember that you can PM your friends as well. And many of us have a decent relationship now that if we, can someone mute IHS? Sorry, dude, it's kind of distracting. Basically, let's all just try to be calm and try to remember why we're here, and try to remember that like we're going to fluctuate emotionally. So is the person across us. We could be in our worst, like we could be at our worst at that time, just like they could be at their worst at that time. And usually, like if we can smile and have a joke and not take it too seriously, at the end of the day, it's just the internet chat room, and it's just a bit of software that we're building. So yeah, sorry guys, I always kind of do like a thing where I get into the warm and fuzzy, but I think it's really important to not dismiss that we are people, and we are in the end just a chemical being, and sometimes our chemical soup can get a little bit frustrated, and it's important to like tap each other on the shoulder and just chill ourselves down, you know.
About Electra told any update on top 50 exchange. Okay, please. Good idea is also help the community. As far as I know, we have updated those exchange, but to participate to the community vote, please, can you handle this? Electra, can you handle this? Please to coordinate the new listing on this exchange. No answer. Okay. No, because everyone is bright on chat, but after they don't.
The thing is, as well, though, we can't have everybody sending in a application. Usually, all applications, even if we send in 10,000, is processed as a single application. Usually, the thing that's more important is instead of 10,000 applications, we could send it with $10,000. That'll make an impact. But otherwise, one is enough.
No, we are talking not about application. We are talking also about be part of the contest with the community vote to be part to contest.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
No. I want to answer to Electra to please handle this a little bit information about the next. For example, we was listed on CoinFalcon thanks to the community contest, and we are first on Cobinode. We hope that they will list us, but we can participate also to other change contest. So I want to ask to Ash Electra, please, to make a summary of the new contest.
So I sent in an official application to Covenant. After reaching out to them about our vote and how we were going, they mentioned that that's not actually their process. So, you know, points for enthusiasm. We really showed how enthusiastic and willing we were to help. Though we unfortunately got a bit excited and went in the wrong direction, and continued in that not so correct direction for a while. So we did actually make an impact. So it's not all lost energy. You know, not only did we get a chance to do something that was a little bit fun and exciting to do, but we actually made enough of an impact that we so they knew who we were and they were really nice to us, and they mentioned that they've got an official process. They gave us the forms, we filled them out and sent it in, and now we're just waiting for news from them. I might actually take this as a hint to go out and reach out to them again and see if I can't maybe push our process a little bit quicker. We'll see how we go.
Yes, we will make a group for support the exchange listing, and especially for the contest. Because we are very powerful in this contest with the community. We must participate to more of these contests.
If I might move on to the next one. So we're getting asked, how are we organizing and logging ideas from community members, electrons, mods? So the way we work at the moment is pretty flat hierarchy. Most times, I'm sure anyone, maybe some of the guys here can vouch for us. Anyone that's got an idea, especially if they're willing to see it through, we're like always more than happy to see it happen. Otherwise, the way open source works is someone's building something and they're giving you all of their secrets, all of their blueprints. And if you'd like to see something slightly different, you've got the power and the authority to grab that blueprint and build it with a slightly different design. So this is fundamentally open source. We've kind of taken it a little step further. The people that are here because they're not only passionate about what they're building, but they're passionate about the users of the products that they're building. They're passionate about the people. So in that regard, they're open to suggestions. But when we say like they're open to suggestions, we're basically going up to a complete stranger who's got a smile on their face, that's working away, and we're tapping them on the shoulder and we're saying, I see that you've taken initiative to work on your own and you've got your head down working, but me, a complete stranger, I've walked up and I think that you should instead work like this. So when you put it like that, it sounds a little bit weird, but that's essentially what we're doing. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a response in any particular way, but we can kind of assume that if we go to this person and demand something, they'll just turn to us and say, look, dude, if you feel that way, why don't you do it? But if we tell them with a smile and we tell them with a nice gesture and we show them the appreciation that we really do feel and sometimes are insecure to express, but if we show them some appreciation, they're way more likely to react. But in saying that, of course, we've got a very friendly bunch of people that are willing to listen to almost anything, even to their own detriment. So some of these guys, they've got full-time jobs and they've got endeavors outside of their full-time job, but they kind of dismiss most of that and prioritize what we're doing here. So that's a lot of passion and love that they're giving us, and hopefully we can show them some appreciation for that. But we're always, of course, thanks for bringing me back on track, Altor. We're always encouraged to bring ideas forward for discussion, and we're definitely encouraged to, pick up a shovel, so to speak, and dig our own holes. So if you've got some ability, so we've actually, at the moment, we've got a team, or basically a group just for developers. So if you've got like development skills and you'd like to help the cause, like you want to put your hand up, we can add you to the development team. Otherwise, we've got a new team for digital media guys and digital media marketers and content creators. So if you're someone that does like 3D animation, 2D animation, we'd be really keen on finding an announcer or a presenter of sorts. So yeah, shout out to Jay Phantom, one of the guys in the other group that we've got, who's actually really nice and recording our discussion for today. We've got a few guys there, guys that come from like video production and animation and all these things. So if we've got ideas for kind of like, I don't know, logo stingers or teasers or trailers, all of our happy ECA propaganda, let's say, we've got kind of a branch that's building it now. Otherwise, most things are, we've got like 100 channels. A lot of them are to keep the discussion on point for that channel, so we can have discussions about things. If you've got a suggestion, if you've got a suggestion and you'd like to build it yourself, you have complete autonomy. But if you've got a suggestion, just remember that we're just people. We're always approachable. You can always give us a tap on the shoulder and have a discussion with us. I try to be as available as possible. I know all the other guys are really, they're very active. They're always available. They're always approachable. They try to be as friendly as possible. But of course, like we were mentioning before, some of us are here for 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day. So, in that case, just be a little bit mindful, and also be mindful that these guys are volunteers and no one necessarily pays them. We're going to have ways of contributing so we can propose ideas, design them, and see them through all the way to funding them. So we've got a fair bit of work to do, and we're trying our best to fit it all in a way where it's not only being openly communicated, but actively developed. So yeah, if you've got some cool stuff that you'd like to build, you're more than welcome and definitely encouraged to join our dev team. If you've got some other skills, we've got many facets to ECA. Like we're a community, so we've got every service that we need as a community, we need in ECA. And as a company, we've got every facet of what a company would need in ECA as well. So if you've got some corporate experience or some experience developing a product or some experience as a user, you've definitely got room to contribute. So even if you're like really, really passive and you don't want to actually do anything, just what we do by creating the atmosphere is what helps everybody else to thrive. You know, like the environment is just as important as the seed you choose to plant. So yeah, so we're very open to suggestions of any kind. We're open to people popping up and jumping on board. And we're also open to people just taking half of what we've done and building a different half, you know, one that we didn't intend, to just build their own half and create their own thing. But of course, like if we work together on stuff, we've got a lot more chance. You know, if we work together and aim at finding the best, you know, if we put our egos aside and we consider most our objectives and the people across us, their objectives, I think we could reach them a lot easier and with a lot more effectiveness once we get there.
Another things that we can do also is open this, for example, one time every month, we can have like an event where we open the call is not weekly, but it's a monthly call to everyone, from the community, from Telegram, we make an event. For example, we accept in the call 2,000 people. For example, 3,000 people. Just we will set up the speaking not only for members, I guess, because if we let 2,000 people talk, will be a big confusion for sure. So we will open the to hear everyone, but to talk every member and above, also the members, maybe, or Electron. We will take a decision about this because I can also how to say make this easy prediction that will be a confusion if we allow everyone to talk. But it can be a good idea, I think. Make an event where all the community we can talk and we can each other, and it will be also powerful about the transparency, because will be another proof that we are something like a really open community. I think if you agree about this, I don't know if you can give me feedback. I see that someone says that is a good idea. This, okay.
Yeah, I think it's got some merit to it. We'd have to plan it well because it's going to be chaotic. But, you know, like right now we've got quite a few actually. Thanks for joining, everyone. Looks like we got like almost 50, 60 people. This is quite a turnout for what we're doing. I think it's doing more because I usually can't count. Sounds interesting. It'll be an interesting experiment. I like the idea of trying to maybe do like a Twitch stream or something. That could work as well, like a live YouTube thing. I guess I might as well show my face in that as well, since especially after CM, most people are getting really insecure about being called. Could I actually add? I don't use my name anywhere. If someone uses my name, I look at them funny. So I grew up in Australia with the name like Suleiman. So you can just imagine what it's like to have that name in this country. I've gotten like every kind of pronunciation. So it's just easier to call me Solomon or to just call me Souls. So everyone calls me Soul or Souls. And yeah, that's yeah. So yes, my background, I'm from the south. Yeah, it sounds like sound. I'm from the southeast of Turkey, and yeah, they're like Syrian Turks. But you know, I was born and raised in Australia. My my thing to do on a Friday is to go to the pub. So like in many ways, um, if I especially if I go to Turkey, I'm very much Australian, and yeah, most people just call me Sol. I don't know why people get insecure about things like this. Like, you know, I don't control Electra in any way. I'm just another guy. I'm just the face in the crowd, you know. So yeah, some people I can see, especially in the Bitcoin talk, they are yeah, they kind of some of them are trippers, but there are people that kind of go into there, and there's a lot of things that are like half truths. There's a lot of them that are kind of getting misconceived because it's easy to misinterpret something especially when you weave in, you know, a lie between two truths. People don't know what to believe, and rarely do we go out and do our own research. So yeah, I don't know. I might as well. There's a part of me that feels more comfortable now, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Like I've never been against sharing stuff. Like I share my. If you look at like the GitHub, it's there as Suleiman. So like I'm not really trying to hide this stuff. I don't know how many. I'm literally the only Suleiman Omayoglu in the world. I'm quite literally the only one. So if you've got a name like Jack Smith and you're public, me being private and being Suleiman O, I've actually given more information than you, you know? So I don't know why people get insecure about that. At the same time, I actually don't have any obligation to share this information. I'm someone that likes to keep my privacy to myself. I actually don't have a Facebook. I don't have a LinkedIn. These are by choice. Like I just don't feel comfortable sharing every little bit of my life as I live my life. And honestly, I don't know why anyone would care. And at the moment, the only reason that I haven't shared it is probably the only reason why it's coming up. So I'll probably just go ahead and do that, just so I can I don't know, it's just so I can fit in with everyone else, I guess. We've got, can we entertain the idea of having some sort of merchant shop? Honestly, guys, I love you guys so much, man. Thank you so much for like, I don't know, all the kind words. I really do appreciate that. Just to go on to the next point, merchants. We're building our Electra Pay at the moment. In my mind, everything comes after that. Once that's done, it kind of feels like we're bottlenecking at the moment, but it's it's technical work that requires time to be done right, because it's not the kind of thing where you can release it where it's kind of like 90%, kind of like a game. Like I used to make games, and you can kind of say to yourself, hey, if it's like 95%, we can send it out, we can see if people like it, and if it's buggy, well, we can always fix it up. Well, we can't really have bugs in a payment app because it's like real money. Like you don't want to be losing even one single transaction. Imagine it's a massive transaction. It's scary. So not only does it need to be done right, but it needs to kind of be done perfectly. So we can get a little bit impatient on our side because everyone wants to go out and advertise it and say things about it. And there's going to be some opportunities for us to actually earn through advertising as well. It's going to be like an incentivized system. So we've got a lot of exciting things to look forward to. At the moment, any merchant endeavor with ECA is going to be a manually processed one. So we can definitely have some designs go through, and we can build. I don't know. We can I guess, come together and manufacture some stuff. Like I saw some stuff like T-shirts. There's actually a really cool one being done by Jay Phantom. I'm gonna give him a shout out. So I pressure him to finish it because I was really looking forward to that shirt, dude. But there's a few interesting shirts that have been designed, hats. The stickers, I've got a really cool sticker on my laptop, and I know some people want something like that. And yeah, if we could maybe organize a collective, maybe just for merchandise at the moment, because I think some people want to represent. I believe the first in the community. I take pride in this. I believe I was the first in the community to get a customized shirt, so I know what it's like to want to rep. And yeah, maybe for the rest of the week we can come together and yeah. So that goes on to what little 111 is saying at the moment. It's very similar to what we were saying. I'll get you thrown off. It's very similar to what Renat was saying about a decentralized team. So in my way, it was kind of like guerrilla marketing. You know, I wear a shirt, but yeah, we can definitely also take that merch to another level and kind of do like a guerrilla marketing campaign where we just kind of stick Electra on things. You know, especially like if you're living in big cities. I think if we somehow put it so it starts to subconsciously pop up, we can yeah, get into people's subconscious. So next time they're scrolling down, we can attract them here and bring them to the dark side.
So,
yes.
So just few words, only 1 minute. This evening we had a very business dinner with a very big company, with a corporation. I just want to give you just only pre-information to our community. This company is a giant. They have a turnover of more than 10 billion USD. We will disclose the details once we come to a point. But today's dinner was with one of the responsible senior managers of this board, and that was pretty much fine. I assume in 2 weeks we will have another Skype meeting this time, and later on a face-to-face meeting, and seems it's going fine. But that will be a really good surprise for the. Thank you.
I'm a very curious person, so you telling me that now makes me yeah, really anxious. I'm like yeah, I'm already in anticipation. Thanks for sharing though.
Do we have a name?
I don't think you can share a name.
Yeah. We have surely. I mean, but you know, as community, we always try to be honest, and we don't give out misleading information. So we need to first see a clear sign, and even we will expect from themselves, the opposite side, to make an announcement from their Twitter account, so that the community will also see, will also see that when we are saying we are dealing with XX company, there will be a statement also from their side officially, so that will be a proof what we are doing as well. As this may bring also some really good impact, really good, very positive impact to Electra. So we must use it in well manner, timing, arrangements, everything together. Then our community will be happy. So this is only one. We have several are ongoing, but we will disclose them as soon as we have, let's say, some agreements or some start of these payment preparations, systems, coding, blah blah. Right?
Right on, thanks, dude. I think though for us, it's important to not get too speculative on that, because I know in this space you can start to go whack. But honestly, thank you very much for sharing that. It's nice to get a little bit of good news amongst all that kind of scary stuff and negative stuff that we had to talk about today. Thanks for that.
Can I just say something quick while it's nobody's talking? Can we not spam the channel, guys? We've been asking like crazy if it's regarding the call or if it's, you know, a question or concern, but it starts to get really hard to address people's questions when they disappear so quickly because of all the stuff. That's what we got the other rooms for, please.
Yeah, right on. And if you have a question and gets missed, just PM. I say I sometimes miss it. So if you get missed, and you've like PM me, sorry about that. And I don't know, PM someone else or PM me again. All right. See if we've got anything else. I believe we've hit open discussion on Yeah, have you got more to say, Renat? I'm not sure if we've got more. If you've got more, please go ahead.
About the Demer. Reposting for visibility. Can we open the legal campaign channel as read only to the public, please? And seems that everyone agrees.
I actually clicked on those too. I got excited because the reaction. I like the animations. I like the color of the reaction, so I click on them. But really, emojis aside, I actually believe the CM legal campaign should be open, only because at the moment, if I find I worded my Bitcoin talk post wrong. I'm not sure how the culture is there. I actually, I don't know. I made my account a long time ago, and I used to read stuff. Yes.
Can we understand what to do on this thing?
Yes.
The legal campaign channel will be open to the members or to everyone? This is the question.
Yeah, just for context, when we created that channel, when we initially created that channel, we actually created it just for the mods, so we could go out and talk to the other.
Okay, now it's open for everyone.
Yes. So I'm getting to that. So we opened it up so we can talk amongst ourselves and not flood any of the other chats. So when I was using Bitcoin Talk, I kind of worded it a little bit wrong, and there was an expectancy that they could come and just join in a conversation. Whereas I actually said, like, if you want to talk to me, feel free to come and like PM me and have a discussion with me. So it kind of got misinterpreted. But at the moment, we're attracting people from other coins and currencies, and they'd like to have a discussion about coin markets in particular. So I was hoping that we could just leave it open and take it case by case. You know, if someone goes there and spams,
open to the public, open just as read only. Okay, they ask read only. So now I open.
But then we're not giving people an opportunity to actually have their input. And I think it's important to have them give their input.
Okay, and chronology will be open. Okay, let's open. Okay, guys, I have done what you are asking. Now it's open to. It's open only for reading, and members seems.
I think maybe honestly, yeah, fair enough. If you guys wanna have it like read only, it's fair enough. But I personally, honestly believe that it was better to have it just open to read and write, because I don't know, the thing is, with 100 people, there's like one troll. So to me, I prefer to kind of take those guys individually. But I understand why people get frustrated as well. And I'm not the guy that actually has to actively deal with it, so it's easy for me to say. But yeah, if we I kind of feel it might make people feel an inability to express themselves, and we know that's always frustrating.
Yes, but members can write over there. Members is
yeah, right on. So we were reaching out to other people that, like, we were reaching out to other coins and other communities to try and get a discussion, so we could we were just opening discussion for now, because we figured, like, it costs a lot of money to hire a lawyer, and it costs even more money when you're not even sure who your legal battle is against. Like, we're not even sure, like, we can right now get the best lawyer in the world, but we're not even sure which jurisdiction to be in, which court to go to and who we're suing. Like, we don't know the guy. We can just say, like, this is the website, you know. So it's not really a strong case. So we know we're going to spend a lot of money, and it's only realistic that we try to bring everyone together. Everyone that, you know, instead of having 5 meager attempts, we can have one much stronger attempt where the 5 are combined. So, you know, we've got like 10. Yeah, honestly, dude, I don't know if we can. I believe that's actually illegal, but yeah, I think otherwise, even if we could, our problem is you know, we don't know if these guys actually. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We'll continue that in that chat later, but yeah, there's a lot to talk about with that. The thing is, though, we know that it's going to be resource intensive and likely going to take a while. So we were opening that channel as a way of opening up to the community. Even though when it was first created, it wasn't with that intention. It was more my mistake with Bitcoin Talk that kind of I left a message that people believed they could reach out. But yeah, you know, we've got a few people that would otherwise not be here. So I think that's kind of cool, you know, like we could always turn something negative into a positive by utilizing it to our advantage. And I think if we were to leave that open and give people a space where they could conversate and express their views and also hear our side as well. Because it's easy to blame me for coin markets, for example, until you realize that not only am I on the other side of the world, but like I'm speaking to you through like $10 headphones. So like, I don't know. To me, it's a little bit whack. And honestly, if I was that guy and I had just scanned people out of like $10 million, I would probably be pretty comfortable to lay on a beach somewhere with a martini, you know. So I'm not doing that. I'm still here, you know, and I'm actually crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. I really do hope they come back. I've got a fair bit of Electra in there as well, amongst other things. But yeah, so otherwise though, we do still need to start a campaign. Like, it's been 2 months, and it's getting more and more to the point where we're being optimistic as opposed to realistic. With, you know, especially with no news. But yeah, if we could reconsider, actually, we'll leave it for now. But if you guys feel a bit patient and feel like you can handle it, I'd love to reconsider opening that up. Otherwise, do we have anything else to talk about? If we're down to nothing,
talk. Yes. Who want to ask something or giving some idea?
You could start us off, Renat, if you like. If you want to talk about full timing again, because I know where you're coming from, and you kind of mentioned to me yesterday, so I have a little bit of context.
Yes, but not only about full time, but I think core team members who see someone as core team see that he have the responsibility of the coin. So it's necessary that those people are effectively responsive. So we maybe it's better that all the people that are actually with the tag core team are responsive, and we talked today about this also, to make meeting every day for the core team, because we need to make the point of the situation every day about how the things are going. We talk every day, with you and with the other core team members, but we need a general call for core team, I think, every day. This is the idea. Okay, in order to be able to understand who is really responsive, and if there is someone not responsive, we will give his place for maybe other people from community that want to be involved and want to be part of the core team. This also we can do.
Yeah, right on, dude. You know what? Like, it's great, the idea of like full-time core team, you know, actively there. always present. But I think we kind of need to be realistic. Like to go back to that other point, at the moment we are volunteers, and the people that we're getting, they're passionate. They're not being paid here. Like I've recently left my job, so I'm actually full-time here on ECA at the moment. So, crossing my fingers that hopefully like all of the efforts that we're putting in, hopefully we get to our objectives, But like I'm kind of in the crazy section, and I've been here for quite a while. So I don't expect many people to think like me. And in that regard, like I wouldn't expect somebody to be here full time and to commit in that way if I didn't have some kind of commitment to them. And I don't know what I could commit to them. Maybe if we could start a system where, like, maybe the contribution page is kind of what we need here, because we're actually having someone build that Chinese New Year. Happy Chinese New Year, by the way, to everyone. It kind of got in the middle, but if they didn't get in the middle, we would have our contribution page already, which would actually give us open forum to propose an idea and to contribute on that idea, and it would also contract the proposing party in to finish the proposed development before getting the contributors paid. So it's very much like a community Kickstarter in that sense. And in that regard, like in that case, we've actually got something where we can point to and say, you committed to this. But at the moment, what we're actually having is, we're open to suggestions and open to people coming and building stuff. So if they pop up and they want to start building something, it's usually someone comes to kind of fix one line, and then they're like, oh, how about if I add this feature? Then they get excited and they want to add an extra service, and then we've got them full time, and now they're being, kind of like consolidated into the core team. So I believe kind of that level of zero expectancy, where all we have is appreciation because there is no expectancy. I kind of believe that's a very powerful attraction. It's really easy to feel appreciated when the person across you has no expectation, and every little thing you do is beyond expectation, so to speak. So if we were to force people to commit to such a thing, I think it's also important for us to consider what we can do for them to, not only make them feel appreciated, but to also pull the best out of them, and to also be able to hold them accountable. Because at the moment, it's a little bit, I feel like we may be a little bit overstepping to expect so much from them, because they already give us so much, Like, even though, like, we can say it, I don't think we can appreciate it fully just by mentioning it. But when we have people that are volunteering their time outside of work, and sometimes like volunteering the time that they would be spending with, on their job or with their family, we kind of can be a little bit dismissive. The words full-time and part-time, it's as if one of them is really serious and one of them is not serious at all. It's not really like that. If you consider like most people that are in a full-time job, they're working just hard enough to not get fired. And most people that are, working on their hobbies, they're working passionately into the night. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Most of the people that we've got them through their passion, and they're working through their hobbies. So it makes you kind of reassess things and to look at them again under a different light. It's not necessarily the words part-time or the hours that you're putting in. Like these guys that we've got, they're very, very skilled people. They're people that I'm actually scared that if we try to pay them, we actually can't really afford them. Like some of these guys get paid like hundreds of dollars an hour. So like I can't imagine being paid hundreds of dollars an hour. So I can't imagine paying someone else hundreds of dollars an hour. So maybe I've got a little bit of a bias there, but it makes you kind of consider, like, if one person can do another person's 8-hour job in half an hour, like, can't we consider that full time to certain perspectives, Of course, it's always better, like it's always better to have someone that's got a full commitment.
So the thinking behind the full time thing was that when we need quick decisions and quick, not only quick decisions, but for example, when I'm developing Electra Pay and I need something, for example, I need the test net to be able to test something quickly to really advance the project. And I need to wait a few days because the person who's working on the test net is then working on something else for his company, or something else happens, then it just it makes that I need to wait for a few days to be able to continue working. And so that's one point which can be solved with just more people working more distributedly, or I don't know how you call that, but more. But the other problem is that when we need to make statements about coins market, for example, and if everybody of the core team is volunteer, which is great in principle, but when we need a quick turnaround on something, we can't expect from them to be there all the time to quickly answer something. So that's the problem. That's the thinking behind having 2-3 people, 4 maybe, that we tell them, that people that believe in the project, and we tell them, hey, you believe in the project, would you be willing to really commit to 100% to it? And the community will come together to help and fund you to be able to work on this kind of startup, on this project, full time, and that way you'd be available when we need something. So that was the thinking a bit. It was not to make everyone full time or everything, just some people, paying them, well, not really paying them, but helping them be 100% active on the project all the time, without without, how can I say this, without neglecting the other contributors. But I came in as contributor too. I'm still a contributor and volunteer here, so I totally get that I would be pissed if someone was preferred over me, but we could make something like a democratic choice to fund certain people, like we're doing right now with the president of our country. We give them money so that they can have a quick turnaround, 100% on something. So, and still we contribute to it. So that was the thinking behind it. It's not to neglect people, but just to somehow have a consolidated core to really take decisions quickly and with the input of the whole community when there are decisions to be made. But yeah, so that was the thinking.
Yeah, right on, man. Well, I'm definitely in favor for coming together as a collective to contribute to our contributors. Mm-hmm. I'm really for that. Like, I think because we're in many ways running a community company, and it's important for us to pay our community workers. And there's always that social incentive, but there's nothing that creates as much security as having also that in economic one. And maybe if we can for now try to focus on being active with our comm channels, though we are quite active. Like, I think now with the way that we're saying it, it might get misinterpreted. At the moment, we've got essentially dev meetings every couple of days, and there's always a discussion open. And there's sometimes a couple hours lag between discussion. So obviously that's not ideal, though we are working internationally. So many times you're working while I'm sleeping, so to speak, So and then like I'm working while you're sleeping. So I'm not always sleeping, I promise. But yeah, basically I definitely think the most realistic one is to be able to support people and then to expect them to be full time. or at least the guys that are full-time and contributing, if we could kind of point these guys out. Like you, boy, for example, you're one of our superstars, and you're always here and you're always working very hard. Ivan is like that. Ruru is like that. And you know, like even like Studley, for example, is always there, like always being helpful. We've got so many guys, honestly. Like there's, it's very very hard to even say like these are all the really important people, because everyone's so important. But maybe if we start to consider that we need to support our core team, you know.
Yes, and if we organize this structure a little more, and the people that are really contributing a lot of hours every day, we organize with them the work. We let them be part of the project more, and also we open access to be part of the team also to other people that are in the community and want to join. Just make a good movement about this, no, and let more people contribute also. And in the meantime, if we are able to have a structure of people also paid for this, for do something, I understand when you say that if you have no expectative, no, about something, you work freely, no more, and everything is cool like that. Also, I understand this, but also be powerful like a company, maybe not stressful like a company, but have the same power to have rapid and quick decision to do things also can be helpful. The best will be do the same, the both things together. As I told, we work freely as community, and in the meantime we have a part like a company that work hard on tasks to give fast answer to the needs. This is also we can do. Anyway, I feel no the pressure of the market, no, and the people that are not in this room in this moment hearing what we are talking about. They are on Telegram and they write. They have doubts about how the things are going. We need to share this information that we have with these people. Try to involve them also to let all the people understand how we are working. Because if we are in a closed room, me, you, and a group of 20 people, we are not everyone know about what the work that we are doing. So we need to share.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit.
This is very important, I think, to let them understand how we are working. Let the rest of the people outside the Discord know how we are working, what we are doing.
Yeah, right on, dude. It's almost a little bit unfair. Like you know, like we feel really secure, but it's also because we see all the work. We're having this discussion with Ivan actually just the other day. It's easy for us to feel secure and happy, and like it's easy for us to look forward to the future and not really have any fear, because we can see the work. So and even like on the Discord, like because right now there's two other channels for us. We've got the Electra Media Makers, which is the newest channel, and we've got, of course, the core team channel. Because you know we've got about 100 little channels here, and servers. Sorry, we've got 2 new servers. I'll be using the wrong term. So we've got about 100 channels in the Electra Coin server, and it got a bit out of hand. So we moved majority of the team dealing onto specialized team server. So it's still here on Discord, just because we're trying to reduce the amount of programs that we're using. And then to complement that as well, so hopefully we can focus a lot more on the social media and on the marketing side. We've got now the media makers. So one of the problems wasn't actually the it wasn't that we don't have enough people. It was kind of because we had a slightly different philosophy. We're really trying to avoid hype. As you know, the market is full of speculation and hype. It's a very emotional market, and we're trying to we're trying to maintain our environment. And you know how it gets when there's a whole lot of hype for not necessarily a whole lot of work, especially when because we're going to go through these moments where there's really nothing to see. So in that regard, it's not kind of uncommon to be, hyped several weeks before, and then, by the time anything happens, everyone's kind of turned on you. So I've seen this a lot with other communities, and I was actually one of the main ones that was really going around saying, let's not hype anything. Let's try to chill out. Let's try to keep rational, level-headed, and just focus on what we're doing. And the more we make cool stuff, the more we've got to look forward to in the future. Because to me, it's all about adding value, and the hype generally takes us away from that. I felt, but I know that forget hype. There's also it's also really important just to keep an open dialogue. There's still a few reasons why we would be a little bit insecure about this. One, all of the people that are interested in developing, they get to jump in and do stuff. Everyone else, they tend to kind of glance over things, misinterpret, and take out of context. Then they go run out to someone else and they say things, and then people build an expectancy with their own associations of things, and then they're kind of going off in a completely different direction than the intention of what we're doing. So it's purely insecurity, because I don't know, personally I feel like a vulnerability to that, because I've seen it with so many things, and yeah, it's probably not the best way to think. So the guys that were doing this, the Twitter, for example, they were actually instructed to keep these channels for important things, So kind of going back and saying, hey, sorry, we told you about that thing last time. Now we can be more liberal with how we tweet stuff. And actually, we've been talking with the core team about this as well, about similar to what we're doing now with recording, even though we're kind of in open discussion now, we were recording the meeting earlier. And similar to that, we'll be making regular updates on the core team meetings. And if it does end up going to every day, I guess that will mean that we've got daily updates. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, there will be a lot of changes hopefully going forward. But if we realize every week we're adding stuff in, and every week we're jumping over hurdles that we had the week before, every week we're getting a little bit closer as a community. We're growing more and more as a community. We've still got at least 100 people that join us every day, and we usually get one or two of those that are contributors that join one of the rooms. There's quite a few of us, and I don't know, in many ways we can tick all the positive boxes. We're doing quite a lot of really interesting stuff, very difficult stuff, and we're getting through it quite well. So I think we've got a lot, and we've got a lot to do. So it's easy to feel overwhelmed and feel, yeah, dude, of course. So we got Miley Cyrus jumping in. Have you got your mic, dude? Oh, okay, so I'll just read it out. So Miley Cyrus is saying, how would you feel about monthly reports that we could share on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, etc., explaining what exactly we've worked on and the status of said thing, so the status of the projects? I believe this will be a simple, good way on keeping everyone up to date on what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe make it look fun and Photoshop it on some ECA symbol. Honestly, I'm all for this. It is actually kind of what we're talking about, though it's probably better to make it official. Thomas Otter's kind of been leading the charge to get some Medium posts and some regular updates. I guess we can probably consolidate all the weekly updates into a monthly one, just so you've got a kind of almost like a investor's summary, But yeah, I'm sure we can arrange that. The problem at the moment is most of our guys, like Boy, for example, is very skilled, and we're trying to squeeze the most out of him. So we've kind of got him like on everything. And if I say like if we do this with our current resources, we risk diluting the focus a little bit and moving them away from things that are like really important. And not to take away from the importance of this, but if you're someone in media, for example, if you're someone in journalism, you know how to write, and you'd like to get a whole bunch of news that you can curate and set up for us, we'd love that. If you'd like to step forward, I might mention it in the media makers room as well. We've got a few guys there that are writers. Yeah, if you're in journalism and you understand this kind of thing, I might actually take our little posty thing and share it there as well, since we've got some attention there. We might as well try our luck. So yeah, I posted this on my Twitter and on the main page. It's in the announcements. Anyone that's got some skills in audio production, video production, animation, storyboarding, we're actually really keen on finding a presenter. If you believe that you could present for us, there's quite a few like male presenters. So the discussion that we had, we said if we could get maybe like a female presenter, we just want someone that can present. We'll hopefully build a team around them that could source the information and prepare, maybe do some editing and help with the production. Yeah, and the rest, like we always need skills. Like, so what we were talking about before, we're in many ways a community and a company. So all of the facets that go into a company, we've got them as well. So any skills and experience that could build or run a company, we could definitely use that here. And if you've got same thing with the community, like the help and support that we provide is almost just as important as the development that we focus on, because it's the people around the technology that give it the real value, and yeah, so if any
yes,
facets of community or company,
think only about the dollar, no, the USD dollar have a very big value, and about technology is zero, totally zero. But because there is behind a power, no? But also the people are a power. So I totally agree with you. We need to focus on one side on technology, and we are developing technology, but also to communicate with our members and the people of our community, because a lot of people are outside the core of this community. And if they come and jump in, they will see how the things are going here, and will be not place anymore for food or something like that. Yes, sorry, I interrupt you for a moment.
No, it's the best way, man. I ramble. If I feel like silence for like more than 5 seconds, I feel like I have to say something, even if it's something stupid. I have to break that silence. I get terribly insecure.
Okay, no, we are in a free discussion phase. We have finished the agenda, and I think very good idea also really will be have a monthly meeting with all the people of the community in voice chat.
I like that.
Yes.
I have a question. I know some of the stuff was, we kind of went over the other agenda. I'm not really sure I understand, and I don't think some of the others do, because I was continuing to see posts asking some of the same stuff as far as what are we going to do as far as combating the FUD or the separation. a lot of the people are coming in complaining, saying all the other coins are, you know, posting things from the top of the chain and making YouTube channels and so on and so forth, or videos on them, basically stating their position, and they're feeling that because the core team is staying silent on that, that does not look good on us. And so part of what we were getting at in some of that beginning part of that agenda on there was, we really feel that it's kind of necessary that we have somebody from the core team say something. Not necessarily that we have the answer, but just to make a statement, to have somebody that actually says, we are not affiliated, we don't know what's going on, we're, you know, trying to figure this type of stuff out, you know, so on and so forth. Does anybody have any outlook on that?
Yeah, dude, if there's anything, I think me and Renat would exactly like say the same thing. We could probably talk in unison and we would have the same answer. I was just going to say, like, we've got nothing against that. We've actually, every time it's come up, we've mentioned something. Not just me, not just Renat, Master Den in the Telegram. I don't know, like, I don't know at what stage we would have said anything to imply otherwise, to be honest. I found it really, really strange that that's what was happening. So, yeah, if there's something where we can make like what we call like official statement, we could do that. I kind of went to my Twitter, even though I've only got like, I think I've got like 40 followers on Twitter or something. So like, thank you everyone. I can actually like count you on two hands. Yes, I have 40 fingers. But yeah, so like I put it on my Twitter, but if there's a better way, because like, yeah, you guys know what you're doing. What you did with the fact was, you know, something awesome. If we could do like official in quotation marks, what you guys recommend, I'm willing to do it. I went to Bitcoin Talk for that reason. I felt like maybe at least, you know, I could say, hey, I'm Sols. And that's why, because my account, like, I'm usually a lurker, you know, like I'll kind of read things. I feel I'm one of the guys that like, I write a message halfway and then I'll delete it and I'll come back like a few hours later and write another half message and then go, oh no, this looks stupid, and I'll delete that as well. So yeah, I went on there regardless and I kind of posted, and so people say like, hey, this really is Sols. It's not just like a new account that's pretending to be. I said like, come to Discord and just say, look, hey, was this you? And I could say, yes, it was, mate. And there we go, you know. But if there's a more official channel, yeah, by all means, let's go.
Well, I think if we in this, my personal take on this, and I don't know what everybody else would say, but there's so many different forms of social media where it becomes, you know, Twitter, Telegram, Reddit, Discord. There's so many of them. I almost feel like we need to have a centralized location that has all of that, and then all of the others will basically be directed towards, because otherwise then we've got to rely on the admins of all those different areas. So, you know, they could always make a quick statement and say, refer to this link or so on and so forth. But I think that I think somewhere it needs to be posted somewhere, so that when the fudders come in and say, hey, we're seeing this or we're hearing this, and Electra has not made a statement, we can say, well, what are you talking about? Here, let me show you this link. I'll bring you right to it.
Yeah, right on, dude. I think as we
this is sorry, Sols. That what Asmot told now is very important, because really what I was talking about is making a structure more effectively rapid to give an answer to our to the people, to the community, and to the needs every time. So we have, I told you, we have another server where we manage things with the team, that we can organize there this structure a little centralized, but at last with the consensus of the community to do these things. I invited you in this moment.
Okay, and like I say, the statements may simply say, we don't know what's going on. I mean, it might come down to that. It's just the silence is partially what's killing us, because they are equivalating silence with collusion.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
right on. So many
Exactly.
assumptions in the silence.
No, this is the point. This is the point. The people don't see an answer and start with the mind to listen to hear the fooders, and partially we are giving a little bit the chance to do that, because we are not giving a lot of information, and we are not giving the possibility to understand how we are working, what we are effectively, and this is a misunderstanding about this. So we need to do this much fast that we can, Asmot. This I invited you. If you can check your messages, please.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. Please enter on the server, because it's made for this. This is the reason of that server. We have a backend server where we manage those things.
Perfect.
Okay.
So with that in mind, guys, can we maybe narrow it down to a window? Like, do you think we could release something within 24 hours, 48 hours? Like, can we make a commitment? And that way we can kind of stop all this stuff in its tracks and we can just not have to deal with it anymore. What do you think?
I think 24 hours is actually realistic.
Okay.
And I think we could go for like 48 as like a maximum. You know, if we can't get something like out and we're getting close to 48 hours, whoever's online at that time, just make a judgment. And I guess if we endeavor to have people from every time zone, we should be available throughout. Like, for example, one of the advantages of me being in Australia and Renat being in Europe is, especially because like Renat has always been, but I'm actually more full-time now. Now we've got someone that's present 24 hours a day. And it's kind of always been the case, because like admin, for example, doesn't sleep, so he's always here. So yeah, if we've got more of like I guess an intention to make that happen, and we give ourselves a maximum of 48 hours, we can kind of push the how can I say, the urgency, make sure that there's always an urgency. And also if we can hopefully source, like I'm going to say it again, like we're looking for a female presenter. So if someone would like to be our presenter, you would be privy to a lot of cool info before it goes out, which then you'd be giving everyone else the cool info. And if we endeavor to do not only to use all of the channels we've got now more regularly and more effectively, but also to add a couple, we've got some cool things to talk about. And I think you know, if we shared them more often, and especially in times like this, the radio silence is never good. I really agree with that. You know, like, because when it's really quiet, everyone's mind kind of just goes slowly towards the worst possible scenario. I like that too.
People start looking for answers, right? Because there's no official word. People start going like, I know my Twitter has been, people have kind of been attacking me like I'm, you know, I represent Electra and it, you know, I'm not official, right? So they start looking for places for answers and asking questions that I can't answer, right? So
yes,
you're pretty official. You're an official giraffe.
I don't know much though. That's the problem, right? I can't answer anything. So that's why we need that official word. Can we commit to that within 24 hours to release something, guys?
Do you mean within the next 24 hours?
You got it. Yep.
Yes.
What? Yeah, I guess so. I think they started sending out some stuff since yesterday.
What's the question? Sorry, I told yes, but I don't understand the question.
We need to release an official statement, you know, from the developers of Electra on the current status of coins markets and what's happening. Even if it's like Asma said, even if there's nothing happening.
24 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, perfect. Right on. Yeah, we can make that happen.
We need to do like stated yesterday. Yes, official statement. Yes, we need to do that, but we need a little help to make the point of the situation in the team, to collect all the information that we have and to release this statement in 24 hours. We need absolutely to do that. I totally agree on this. We cannot. The silence is not good in this moment. The people want that we take a position, no?
Yeah, actually, we kind of took a more aggressive position. So yesterday we started that campaign, the legal campaign. So we could even mention that. So yeah, because I don't know, anyone would the thing is as well, like my logic kind of works against me sometimes. But anyway, simply put, yeah, we could not only mention that we've got no affiliation, but we could actually take it one step further and say that we've started a campaign to source and fund a kind of a legal branch to go after CM. So hopefully there's a little bit more meat to our statement. And hopefully we can make that today.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think, sorry, this is Ruru here. I think our silence at this point in time is pretty much what Coins Market has been doing to us. Their silence has created such a friction. And if we do the same, we're going to end up being affiliated with them.
Oh, yeah, we definitely don't want.
That's what's happened, right? That's the correlation that people are putting together right now. And that's what's really hurt us.
So as much as we try and dispute it, I think there's a lot of moderators, and in Discord, as much as people try and say and give the evidence that we're not affiliated, I'm not too sure what people need or want. Anybody from the development core team can come up and say, well, we have absolutely nothing to do with them. We don't know their code. First of all, it's on PHP and MySQL. We are JavaScript developers. So we've got absolutely nothing to do with them. So I don't know what people actually want. And that's what we need to kind of answer.
I think a lot of it would just be almost redundant to some of the things that were in the fact page. I don't know that there's anything special as much as the fact that when there's silence, they read something and what they read becomes truth before they check the facts, and then the silence makes them feel like they should believe what they read because we're silent. So I think what it comes down to is not so much that we need to say something special as much as it needs to more or less have the signature of the Electra core team.
Just something.
Okay, so basically you're looking at something that's going to be sent from a centralized place. So it'll be the same thing, but sent on Facebook, Twitter, and all the different channels.
Yeah, and I think just the importance that it comes from the core team so that they are more or less exonerating themselves, or at least saying that these facts that are in the page are absolutely true. And of course, if there's anything that isn't true in there, we can always change it. But it's just the fact that the silence is making their minds run wild and believe stuff that they read without even caring about the facts.
Okay, in complete agreement. So yeah, so we can do that certainly. Just the repos, they are all public at this point in time. Powerade.
The what are?
There are a couple private ones. There's a couple private repos.
Yeah, there are a couple, and those are not anything to do with the development. It's more about our sort of scratchboard of how we're going to go ahead. So we just, sort of bouncing ideas. It's just a forum for the developers to be able to bounce ideas and talk to each other before we start the development.
Yeah, there's also they kind of get, some of them kind of sit there as well until they're sure of what to do, just because they're not sure if they might scrap it, and they don't want to build expectation on something that might not last. Well, otherwise they want to just
But
keep a little bit of a secret so there's the impact.
But maybe again, that all needs to be just described as fact. Yes, all our code is available. It's on open source. We're still in the early development stages. We're working hard and furiously on on the mobile wallet at this point in time, and our focus is to make it a good look and feel mobile wallet, so that even your granny can use and that type of thing. And just say that some of it is private, and give a reason, and maybe we're not being as vocal as we should be.
And this is mainly coming from the people, not so much our community members as much as what we're feeling the need is due to the new community members that are coming in basically just to challenge. Now, some of these might be just straight up fudders on purpose. They're coming in, there's a group Discord that is specifically geared towards being against coins markets and trying to figure out, what to do. It could be just them spread muddy water, but the main thing is that this is we're coming to this conclusion because of all the new outsiders that are coming in and questioning this stuff hardcore.
Yes. For this reason, we need to structure a little more the team. And I'm on the other server where we have the team. The new desktop wallet needs around 1 month right now to be released. And yes, we need to use the new server for that we have for the team. We need to use it and to structure a little more the core team, as Asmoth suggestion before. We need to structure more the team, for sure.
There's a couple guys that we're going to add to that Twitter team. So a few people nominated also. So I've been just organizing to get Alto onto there as well. We actually mentioned it yesterday, and then we ended up moving away. So we'll make sure to do that. It doesn't take much to send out a tweet. I think there was a bit of an insecurity with the way that things get misinterpreted, and also like if we're kind of, in a sense, we let coins markets get really strongly associated with us. Partially, we got unlucky because we were the highest volume trading when it did go down. In many ways, we took it down. It was like we brought too much traffic in a short period of time. And yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. Sorry, I guess. I guess in that sense, I kind of let people down. But we'll fix it up. We'll send out something today and make sure that we remember this and make sure that we're not making the same problem, same issues in the future. And maybe in the future, if you guys do sense that this is happening, feel free to say something a little bit earlier, and then just to point back, like today, for example, and say, if we didn't have to remind you that day, so let's not let that happen again. Like, for example, Asmoth reminds me now that we've got meetings on, because I'm really bad with my timing. And I was fully on time now, and I make it to all the meetings, especially the dev ones. I'm actually a little bit early even. So yeah, so a little bit of critique goes a long way sometimes. The friendly feedback definitely goes a long way. I'll make sure that I'm not actually in charge of the Twitter. I'm terrible at Twitter. That's why I've only got 50 followers. So thanks for everyone that joined today. Don't expect too much from me on the Twitter side. I need some help. But yeah, we'll make sure that we focus on that a little bit more. Is there anything else that we may have missed for today?
I guess the only thing that I would throw in there is it cool if we continue to do kind of like the double agenda, one that the core team puts together, and then one that the mods and can put together on questions they may have, so that we can get some of those things answered too?
Well, my impression was that they were both consolidated into one. I don't think it's organic to have the two separate documents. Like, we're always communicating and they're available. I think it's nice to respect the initiative, but personally, like, if this is very subjective, I guess, but I think it's probably more natural to just consolidate the two. I don't know. Feel free to jump in there, guys, but it was way more comfortable the past weeks, and I actually still feel a little bit insecure that we may have missed something. I still feel like, hey, we were going to talk about something today that we didn't talk about.
In it, we may have been able to cover it all that way. It's the shorthand versus the full questions might have misrepresented in my mind by looking at it, and it may have covered it. So maybe there's one that we can throw up there, so that on the day of the call, that I think it's Renat that does the actual scheduling and managing of that he could look at and incorporate it into the one that he's creating. Is that a fair statement or no?
Yeah, or we can create them together.
Yeah, however you want to do it. I just know that CoinWolf was doing it and haven't seen him for a while. So I just took the initiative to start posting things up because I didn't want there to not be one.
No, right on, dude. Honestly, thanks for that.
I actually have one right for next week.
Yeah. No, right on. And then if you've already started one for next week, maybe if you just do a quick ask. You're in the team chat, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that you're there. If you're not, I'll make sure you are after this. Yeah, you are. Yeah, so just mention it. Say, is there anything you guys want to add? And yeah, if you just add that, would be sweet.
Okay. And the only thing I have is the title and the date. I'm just saying I had it ready so that I could post it at the end of the call to basically say, here's one for everybody to have for next week, just because I wanted to give people plenty of time, the whole week to look in and figure things out, rather than, the last minute.
Yeah, right on, dude. No, that's sweet.
So yeah, however you guys want to do it, it's there. We can throw it together. We can migrate and figure things out as we go, I guess. I don't care if there's one or two. I just was trying to make sure that, people's questions were getting answered, so that they didn't feel like they had to go another week without it on stuff they felt was important.
No, that's right on, dude. That's actually how CoinWolf had it. You would just kind of like throw it on, and then right at the because you could always fix the spam and stuff and go through the history. And just before the meeting, we just got to remember to put it back to suggestion. Well, you could actually always have it on suggestions. So yeah, they just had it on as open edit.
Oh, CoinWolf open edited.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was open edit. Yeah.
Okay, I think I had it on suggest, but the only reason I did that was because I knew I could add people as edit one by one, and I figured if it was a public link that we'd potentially face people coming in and putting stuff on there just to be funny and so on and so forth. But I don't care how we do it. I just want to make sure that it's not dropped in the cracks.
Yeah, we can always mess with it later to just make sure there's no crap in there. Hopefully it doesn't get out of hand. There's always those things where it gets a little bit out of hand, and then you think like, this is why we can't have nice things.
Right.
Little 111, you were saying it sounds more like a marketing call. This one actually is more like a discussion with, like, I don't know, it's kind of like an open discussion and a quick update on what we're doing. The devs have their own set of meetings. They meet a few times a week. I don't know if that's what you're maybe had the wrong expectation because of the name, maybe. Oh yeah, Link. Brings up a good point. He's saying with the white paper update, are we able to make the projected roadmap? Sorry, my screen updated. Where is that? Are you able to make sure the projected roadmap is accurately representing the order of release? And he mentions people kind of misinterpret that. So I actually felt that too. I could see where you're coming from there, and I could see where they're coming from if they're getting Let's see if we can. We'll see if we can fix that. Yeah, I think that's time, guys. I'm gonna get to work anyway. I've kind of already started, so sorry about that. That's kind of why I'm never really good at multitasking. Yeah, thank you, man. Like honestly, thanks everyone that joined us today.
Next,
very nice of you. Everyone that's participating, thank you very much.
Next call will be the 1st March.